Every leaf is a learning opportunity. So a customer brought these leaves in from a red tip Photinia and they're showing these spots. The spots go through to the other side of the leaf and they're kind of maroon colored. And this is a really common issue with red tip Photinias. What we're looking at there is Entomosporium leaf spot fungus. And it happens to attack Photinias, Indian hawthorn, and Cleyera on a pretty regular basis. And when left unchecked, it can be fatal to those plants. And this disease did not used to be very common, but back about 20, 30 years ago, everyone was planting red tip Photinias because they grew so fast and made a really good privacy screen and were very hardy. But then when that disease got here, because there were so many of the Photinias all around the city and all around the state, it was very easy for that disease to spread from one plant to another and really start wreaking havoc on those plants. Now, the best way to deal with this is to actually remove the plants. But that's not always the option. So let's talk about what other options you have if you don't want to remove the plant. Step one would be to catch it early. So monitor your plants and look for those spots on the leaves. And if you do start to see them develop, then you got to start treating them, because once it gets to be super advanced and actually starts killing the plants, it's almost irreversible at that point. The next step would be tidying everything up. So if you have any of those leaves that are very severely infected, go ahead and pull them off. Or if you have full branches that are badly infected, prune them off. And then also, if there are fallen leaves on the ground, make sure you're cleaning those up. This is super important because this is going to help stop the spread, because all of those leaves have spores on them, and those spores could then spread to new leaves, especially when you get rainfall or sprinkler spraying on the leaves. And next, once you've done the cleanup, you're going to want to treat with a labeled fungicide. I usually like to recommend 2 different types of fungicide. That way you're not building up a resistance to a single type. And then spraying about once a week with one, once a week with the other. And then just continue that as long as the weather is still cool and humid and rainy. That fungus is going to be active, so treat through those periods. And then in the wintertime and in the heat of summer, you probably don't have to continue that treatment. So yeah, it is treatable, but it is quite difficult to treat. So make sure you weigh the options of whether or not you have the money and time to go through with that treatment, or if it would just be easier to pull them out and replace it with something that does not get that disease.